Greenland, the world's largest island, covered in ice and surrounded by mystery. For decades, it's been seen as little more than a frozen wilderness, a blank space on the map where few people live and even fewer dare to visit. But in reality, Greenland is far from empty. It's one of the most strategically important places on Earth, sitting at the crossroads of continents, oceans, and global power struggles. What seems like an icy wasteland is actually a goldmine of opportunity, both literally and politically. Today we're diving deep into why Greenland is much more powerful than you think. Let's start with geography, because location is everything. Greenland sits between North America and Europe, straddling the Arctic Circle, with direct access to both the North Atlantic and the Arctic Ocean. For centuries, this made it a remote and forgotten outpost. But as the Arctic ice melts due to global warming, new sea routes are opening up, routes that could dramatically change global trade. These passages, like the Northwest Passage and the Northern Sea Route, shorten travel times between Asia, Europe, and North America by thousands of miles. And guess which territory lies right in the middle of this emerging maritime superhighway? Greenland. That's why military strategists have had their eyes on Greenland for decades. The US established Thule Air Base there back in the 1950s, a site that remains one of the most critical early warning and missile defense installations in the world. It's part of the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, and plays a key role in monitoring the skies for potential nuclear or ballistic missile threats coming over the Arctic. In a world where global tensions are rising, Greenland isn't just another island. It's a front-row seat to the new geopolitical chessboard of the 21st century. But Greenland's importance doesn't stop with defense. Beneath its thick layer of ice lies a treasure trove of minerals. As global demand for green technology and digital infrastructure explodes, the world is in desperate need of rare earth elements, the materials that power everything from smartphones and wind turbines to electric vehicles and fighter jets. And Greenland has them in abundance. Deposits of rare earths, uranium, zinc, nickel, and even gold have been discovered across the island. For years, these resources were inaccessible because of the extreme cold and remoteness. But as the ice retreats, they're becoming easier to reach. Now imagine a world where Greenland becomes one of the main suppliers of rare earth minerals, challenging China's current dominance in that sector. That alone could shift the balance of global power. Countries like the United States, Canada, and even the European Union are already expressing interest in partnerships, eager to ensure secure access to these critical resources. Greenland's government has been cautious, however. While mining could bring massive economic growth, it also raises environmental and political concerns. The Greenlandic people, most of whom are Inuit, have lived in harmony with their environment for generations. They understand better than anyone that the cost of development can sometimes outweigh its benefits. And speaking of the people, that's another aspect of Greenland's quiet strength. With a population of only around 56,000, mostly concentrated along the coast, Greenlanders are deeply connected to their culture and traditions. Yet they also have an increasingly global perspective. Greenland is technically part of the Kingdom of Denmark, but has significant autonomy. Over the last few decades, it's been moving steadily toward potential independence. If it ever fully separates, Greenland would instantly become one of the most strategically valuable nations in the world, not because of its population or economy, but because of what lies under its ice and where it's located. This growing desire for independence ties back to economics. Greenland's economy today relies heavily on fishing, especially shrimp and halibut exports, which account for the majority of its income. But fishing alone can't sustain the island's ambitions. Tourism is growing, with adventurous travelers eager to see glaciers, fjords, and the northern lights, but even that has its limits. The real game changer could be mining, or renewable energy. With vast rivers of glacial meltwater, Greenland has enormous potential for hydropower. In fact, it could one day export green energy to Europe or power local industries sustainably, positioning itself as a leader in the renewable revolution. Climate change, as paradoxical as it sounds, is both a threat and an opportunity for Greenland. The melting ice is a visible tragedy. It contributes to rising sea levels and endangers traditional ways of life. But it's also revealing vast new tracts of land, uncovering mineral deposits, and creating navigable waters, where there used to be nothing but frozen barriers. Global warming is literally reshaping the island, and with it, Greenland's future role in the world. Scientists estimate that Greenland's ice sheet holds enough water to raise global sea levels by over 7 meters if it were to melt completely. That makes it one of the most critical regions in the world for understanding and combating climate change. From a political perspective, Greenland has become a hotspot for international interest. The United States has renewed its focus on the region, not only maintaining its airbase, but also reopening a consulate in Nuuk, Greenland's capital, in 2020, a move that hadn't happened in decades. China, too, has been showing increasing interest. It has proposed infrastructure projects, mining investments, and even Arctic research collaborations. Denmark, meanwhile, finds itself in a delicate position. It still controls foreign policy for Greenland, but must also respect the island's growing autonomy and its people's aspirations. This creates a complex web of diplomacy, economics, and environmental responsibility. If managed well, Greenland could become a model for sustainable development and self-reliance. If not, it could become the next flashpoint in the struggle for Arctic dominance. Already, analysts refer to the Arctic as the new frontier, a place where the great powers will compete not for oil, but for influence, shipping routes, and access to resources. Beyond politics and economics, though, there's an intangible allure to Greenland that gives it power of another kind. It's one of the last truly wild places on Earth. A land where glaciers meet the ocean in thunderous waves of ice, where polar bears roam freely, and where the northern lights dance in silence across an untouched sky. In a world that's increasingly urbanized and artificial, Greenland stands as a symbol of purity, resilience, and mystery. That natural beauty is attracting filmmakers, explorers, and scientists from around the globe, making it not only an environmental priority, but also a cultural icon. And that might be Greenland's greatest strength, its ability to make the world look north. In an age where we often think of power as population, economy, or military strength, Greenland reminds us that true influence can also come from geography, natural resources, and the control of critical global systems. Whether it's rare earth minerals, global shipping lanes, or climate data, Greenland holds keys to the future that no one else can replicate. The next few decades will be decisive. Will Greenland embrace large-scale mining and foreign investment, potentially transforming into a modern industrial hub? Or will it focus on sustainable development, protecting its fragile ecosystems and cultural heritage? The choices made by its leaders, and the global community's respect for them, will determine whether Greenland rises as an independent Arctic power or becomes caught in the ambitions of others. But one thing is undeniable. Greenland is no longer a blank space on the map. It's a critical player in global climate, trade, and resource security. Its ice sheets influence weather patterns around the world. Its minerals could power the next generation of technology. Its ports could reshape global shipping. And its people stand at the crossroads of tradition and transformation. So the next time you glance at a world map, don't see Greenland as just a frozen island. See it for what it truly is, a sleeping giant, awakening as the world around it changes. A land where ice hides riches, where silence holds power, and where the future of our planet may, quite literally, depend. Greenland is more than cold. It's crucial. Its power may not roar like that of a superpower, but it hums beneath the ice, steady and unstoppable. And in the coming decades, as nations turn northward, as trade routes shift and technology evolves, Greenland's quiet strength will speak louder than ever before. As Greenland steps into the global spotlight, what makes it even more fascinating is how its destiny intertwines with the planet's future. It's not just about politics, resources, or trade. It's about survival, innovation, and the delicate balance between progress and preservation. Every ton of ice that melts, every new mining project approved, and every diplomatic handshake carries enormous consequences for the world's ecosystems and economies. Greenland has become the testing ground for how humanity will manage the next century, a place where climate science, energy transition, and geopolitics collide in one frozen landscape. Scientists are already using Greenland's vast ice sheet as a time capsule, drilling deep into the frozen layers to study the history of Earth's climate, capturing bubbles of ancient air, and predicting how fast the planet is warming. The data collected here shapes international climate policies and helps predict extreme weather events that affect billions of people. In other words, Greenland isn't just watching the effects of climate change, it's documenting them, warning us, and urging the world to act. Meanwhile, the locals continue to balance modern ambition with ancestral wisdom. Inuit communities have thrived here for thousands of years, adapting to brutal winters and using every resource with respect and precision. As Greenland modernizes, many young people are finding ways to blend that heritage with innovation, designing sustainable housing, researching renewable energy systems, and leading ecotourism initiatives that bring in revenue while protecting the environment. Their resilience reflects Greenland's strength, an ability to evolve without forgetting its roots. Then there's tourism, quietly becoming a powerful force. Travelers from around the globe are flying in to experience the raw majesty of Greenland, sailing through ice fjords, hiking past glaciers, or witnessing the aurora borealis shimmer above endless snowfields. But tourism here is unlike anywhere else. Visitors aren't just consuming beauty, they're learning humility. Standing before a glacier that's existed for millennia, yet is now retreating year after year, changes how people see the world. It's as if Greenland reminds humanity how fragile and precious the planet truly is. But as nations look north, the competition for influence continues to heat up. Russia, China, the US, and European powers all understand that the Arctic is the next great stage for economic and strategic dominance. Greenland, positioned right in the center, is the bridge, or the battleground, for this emerging world order. It's a reminder that even the smallest nations can hold immense leverage when geography, timing, and resources align. And so, Greenland stands at the threshold of transformation. A place where the past whispers through icy winds while the future hums beneath melting glaciers. Its potential is staggering, to fuel industries, power nations, and help humanity understand its own planet. But that potential comes with responsibility, to protect, to preserve, and to choose wisely. If you've made it this far, take a moment to appreciate the sheer wonder of this Arctic gem. And if you enjoyed this journey, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the world's hidden powers, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exploration. The world is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and together we'll keep uncovering them, one story at a time.